It's really easy to get stuck in your thoughts, stuck in the noise, spinning things that are going nowhere and just freaking out about your life to the point where you're not able to make like clear decisions and just move forward. How do you deal with the crippling noise inside of your head that keeps you from moving forward? I have a 3-step process for you today. It's very simple. It took me like 2 minutes to explain. The rest of this is a story and a little life update. Let's go. So, we just finished a round of pickleball out here. Why does that matter? Okay, so hear me out. I'm gasping and breathing like Tiger and Kipper from Kipper, the show. Not that you watched that. Yeah, I suppose. Okay, out here in this random court, right? I'm just having a crappy old time for no good reason. You know what I'm talking about? Sometimes you're just having a crappy old time for no reason. You're just spiraling. I think everybody does it. I don't think it's like limited to people with ADHD or people with OCD or people with depression and anxiety. It's like we can all relate to that. So regardless of what you think you have or what you know you have, we spiral. Why? What's the deal with that? Why do we get so fixated and so zoomed in on one tiny little thing when there's all of this life in front of us, all of this infinite possibility, all of this freedom in front of us? We get constraint. And I think that constraint is self-imposed, and I think it's socially imposed. I think it's environmental, but I think a lot of it, what we don't like to admit, is that it just comes to us. Like us imposing limitations, expectations, and agendas onto ourselves that are not our own, that are not consciously chosen. They're just pressed on by like our need for acceptance from somebody. And so I'm sitting in the car and I'm like, let me tell you a story so this makes a lot more sense. I'm trying to figure out my microphone setup. I'm trying to set up my podcast studio today. Like that was kind of my the one thing that I really wanted to get done. I got interrupted with a lot of calls that didn't actually happen, which was frustrating. And then I went from that to like missing a game of pickleball, which is not a big deal. Like I don't even like pickleball that much. Like you can like it or not, that's not the point. The point of the story is my family was playing, they didn't tell me they left. I thought they would tell me that they would leave, and they didn't. And all these little like micro disappointments were building up where it's like, oh man, I realized that I need this $160 transmitter for my podcast microphone, or whatever those things are called, like the receiver, the mixer, you know, and I need a cord too, which is like an XLR cord is like $35. It's not a big deal, but I'm like in this minimalism zone. I'm like, I'm not gonna spend any money, you know, and I'm trying to be all locked in with that, and then that happens, and I'm like, and you're just kind of like, you're looking at life, and you're looking at all the things coming together, and you're like, I don't like this. And that stress of like unmet expectations and like maybe lack of productivity or maybe lack of support, or you just don't really have the understanding with people. I think all of those things, those miscalibrated expectations, create tension and stress, and then we store that, and we do it with ourselves as well. And then over time, it builds into these like pissed off moments where you're just like freaking out in your room for nothing. Not for nothing, but for a bunch of small little things that stacked and then spiraled, and then you were just like, I hate life. Maybe it's just me, but that's how it feels. Anyways, I don't know what happened, but on the way here, like I had to transition modes, so I just hopped in the car, put some good stuff in my ears, Alex Hormozy, and just drove out here to play some pickleball with my family, which I wasn't really like excited or unhappy about. I was just kind of like, meh. But sometimes you just have to choose joy. Sometimes you just have to choose like presence and focus on others. And I know that sounds like way cliche, but I'm just thinking about like, how did I turn that around? And I don't really know how I turned that around. Like sometimes you don't turn the thought around. Sometimes there's no like solution to all of this but to let go. So like all these expectations and frustrations that you're holding on to, you can't solve them by like continually analyzing them and like talking yourself through it. Sometimes you just have to drop it. And I believe in like psychotherapy and, therapy and spirituality and, like God healing you, but also like using mental tools and things like that, because you kind of need all of it, right? Like we're psychological beings with brains, we're spiritual beings with like we're consciousness dwelling inside of this body that has a brain. So we have to deal with our own like hardware and mental faculties inside of our brain and how those things have been programmed. And sometimes they're just programmed by an environment, and so we end up like running thoughts that aren't even true to ourselves. They're just automatic based on the environment they were placed in. So coming out here has been a nice little shift, because it's not like anything super special. This is my dad's work, which is kind of weird. Probably shouldn't be recording a video out here, honestly. I might get like arrested, so I'm gonna get out of here. But all that to say, sometimes I think you just need to zoom out. Let me know if you feel me in the comments below. But I think zooming out allows you to see the bigger picture and see the people that need you, and see the vision and the calling of where you need to go. And if you're holding on to this list of attachments and this list of needs and these lists of things that you need to have, these things that need to be solved in order for you to just move forward, if you're holding on to that list, like you're not gonna go. You're just gonna sit there and be like, well, I don't have all this, and it's like you don't need anything. You actually need less, and you need to be resourceful. And when we use our resources well, time, energy, money, attention, willpower, I guess, you can start to feel alignment. But it starts with dropping the things that don't. So, drop the things that don't align. Peace. Bye. Oh, that angle was trash. Jamie. Oh, well, we're not going to worry about it, because missed expectations, they're going to happen. Got this stupid song stuck in my head, bro. So one time I was hanging out with this girl, and her dad wanted us to sing this song from, I don't even know what it was from. I still don't know how to use a lav mic to save my life. Alright, we're just gonna hold on to it. Her dad wanted us to sing this song from like the Muppets. And it was like the do 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 mana do 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 mana. I don't know, something like that. It was terrible. It was so humiliating. And I ghosted that girl. But I just think it's really awkward that like the last interaction we ever had was that. It was like me singing that song for her dad, which is so yeesh. But sometimes you just gotta take the L, bro. I don't know. Not everything is about how much you can impress the other person, because life's too short for that, in my opinion. Yeah. I don't even know what I'm doing right now, man. I'm just ooh, I really hope they got my hoodie. We'll just have to find out. Let's roll this one up. What do we want in 2024? That's the real question. Or 2025, I guess. I think before you can ask the question of what is the vision, I think you need to just look at what is the noise. Because in whatever you're trying to like achieve, whatever thing you really want in life, there's probably a lot of like noise interfering with like what you actually want. And so maybe you're feeling a little bit, I don't know, unclear, just because there's so much stuff in your system, like content and potential goals and potential systems and routines, and there's all these challenges online and stuff like that, and it's hard to know like what is your actual like, what's your thing, what's your calling, what's your vision, because there's so much to see, and like, I don't know, there's just kind of an infinite number of like options and things that you can do, and ways that you can use your energy, but you have to prioritize and make decisions. Like at the end of the day, it's just you, and you have to make the decision, and you have to live your life. And I know it sounds like really like, I'm not even gonna say, oh, that's cliche. I was talking with my sister about this yesterday morning. You have to live your life every day, is what she said. And I thought that was profound. Not because, and here's why. This noise is really pissing me off right now. But there's no way I'm going to be able to solve this, so we're just going to deal with it. Hopefully it's not too loud. I don't know, I think this mic is like pretty high quality. It's like noise canceling and stuff, so my guess is that it's nice and crisp. But there's only one way to find out, and that's not by blowing through a stop sign. Yeah, all right. You have to live your life every day. You have to be in your life every day. You're stuck with you every day. You can't be somewhere off in the future. You can't park like happiness somewhere off in the future. You can't delay engagement or delay action now. But you can delay gratification now. Because there are things that you think you need to have right now, or things you think you need to have accomplished by now, when in reality, you just need to spend more time in the process. Or more time just actually focusing on like your thing. How much of like this year has just been consumed by noise? Whether that's like the fear of rejection and the fear of like how you'll be perceived, or the fear of, you know, it not being like the outcome you wanted, when in reality that's just kind of an inevitable, because you're gonna fail the first time. We have all these like little hang-ups that get in between us and just being yourself freely. For me, it's even like writing the book. Like, I think I have mental hang-ups about even saying that I'm writing a book, because I don't know, you're supposed to have a this and that and this accomplishment in order to like write a book, right? And I've been waiting to, you know, make bigger moves, because I don't have, and it's that like, I can't do X because I don't have Y, or whatever. That's kind of like the equation that I'm coming to. It's the after the next thing, right? When you're in the after the next, you're saying like, oh, after the next car, after the next relationship, or after the next school, after this next achievement, after this next hook up, then I'll be done. Like, whatever, dude. It's you can take almost anything and apply it to that equation, and you'll find yourself just waiting to live your life. But at the end of the day, you're the one living your life every day. You're the one that has to deal with your consequences. So we have to get like the noise just out of our systems first, I think, because we have to just identify it. I think you can't really it's really hard to move around the noise, whether it's what someone thinks of you or what they're trying to tell you to do, if you haven't written it out. So if you feel like you're holding something back, or you're you're on your phone, pal. I love you, but you're on your phone. If you're in that kind of space of holding something back, then you just have to start brain dumping, and just because if you haven't done a journaling practice or a writing practice, all of your thoughts are just basically in your head all the time, which sounds really overwhelming to me. I write every day. I couldn't imagine having all of this stuff inside my brain just circulating, right? I don't think that's healthy. And going back to what I was talking about just a second ago, I think that actually makes sense, that you need to process and kind of lay out the information that's inside your brain so that you can actually deal with it. And then when you have it, it's the so what? Okay, well, what does this even mean? What does this reflect? And for me, it's usually the what for me in my brain is I can't move forward, or I'm stuck right now because my mom wants me to go to school, but I want to go do this other thing. I want to go start this business, or I want to go I want to go focus on my YouTube channel, or I want to go work on this freelance marketing project with this venture studio, right? And there's all these dreams and aspirations and adventures that I want to go do, but I feel I can't do that because this person, and I'm giving that person power. But the real thing is the so what. So what does that actually mean? That's the so what. I'm addicted to approval. I have an approval problem. I cannot deal with rejection. I cannot deal with someone not liking me or not approving of what I'm doing. And then now what is well, what are you going to do about it now? Because at the end of the day, you have to make the decision and you got to move forward. What am I going to do about it now? And that's kind of the thing that I'm still sitting with. I don't really know the answer to that question. I really don't. So I'm not going to give you some magical promise, but hopefully that's a framework for dealing with your thoughts that can help you clear the noise and declutter your mind. Because you're not going to be able to make effective strategies. You're not going to be able to set clear goals. You're not going to be able to set actually ambitious dreams and just see your life straight if you're still in that perpetual cycle of noise. So let's cut out the noise. I hope this served you. Those are the 3 things. I hope this served you. Have a great day. Righteous grind. And don't forget the January challenge. Sign up in the link below. It's going to be great. It's free, but if you're trying to transform your body and mind, but also get your motivation, or not even motivation, but your momentum back in the right direction, I think it's going to serve you. So it's going to be calisthenics, training, cold exposure. But more than that, it's really just getting you locked in with the community and the accountability, the tools and the systems that are going to help you thrive starting out, so that okay, I can actually do this. Because maybe you've just been on the down and you need to have your comeback. That's what this is about. So I hope this served you. Righteous grind. Peace.